the contract and I signed.
Vince, you sound like you got a McSmith microphone out there, bro. It's up, chopping up. How you doing, my bro? We got Tim Witherspoon Jr. just jumped in the building too. And hey, we got a lot of people that come in here too, man. Let's shout them out, man. Skywalker, first one in here. Boxing Menu, bro. So shout out to you, brother. Michael Johnson, man. Shout out to Mikey out there, man. Daniel Berry's in here, bro. Shout out, brother. Tupac 13. Nando Lamas. Ernest Johnson, what are you doing out there in the chat? You're in here.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to talk to the people some kind of way, right?
Yes, sir. The Bud Files. Shout out to you, brother. Rodolfo Rivera. Low Clarity. Shout out, brother. Joseph Phoenix, man. Shout out, bro. And here we are, man. I don't know are we on any of you guys sharing this on your platforms, man?
Yeah, we're live.
Yes.
We're live.
I need some time to share mine.
We got nothing but time over here, my brother Tim. I'll tell you, man. Anybody out there? I'm on these vape pens now. I bought them about 10 days ago, and I got a hell of a deal on the internet. I got these 200 gram pens for $40, man. Can't beat that. 2,000 milligrams, 2 grams in here, and I've been digging on them. I just ordered 2 more today. Rascalot, salute, man.
I got the Santa Claus one.
Rascalot.
There we go. Everybody's on here smoking. Almost everybody. That's one of our rules. You gotta smoke, or you gotta be smoking tolerant.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna smoke this air weed. You'll feel me.
Smoke weed every day.
You get the contact high over here, Ernest. Who are you kidding?
Hey, man.
That's funny.
You 86 too,
I just have me some bubbly strawberry water, sparkling water here.
I'm gonna get these wings real quick.
I gotta go get some water now. Anyway, man, my glass is kind of empty.
We're gonna talk about the Teofimo fight and Jermaine Ortiz, since we haven't been live since that fight happened. Thursday we had Teofimo and Jermaine Ortiz, man, to go up against each other, and very controversial fight.
Do you have water? Me, coconut water.
Oh, you drinking coconut water? Hey,
way to go!
You know what's good with coconut water? If you put some lime, if you put a lime in there, and it was lime and what else? Lime juice.
Yes.
If you put some lime juice in it, bro, ooh.
They have and then they have papaya here.
Oh man,
papaya.
It's got a papaya. Like mother.
I know no one asked, but I'm on the T.
What type
I'm
of tea?
I'm on the tea myself, brother.
Mango, big mango.
I drink like a raspberry flavored
lemon
herbal tea. Okay, good stuff right there.
Yeah.
You gotta straight honey.
Rock Chalk, salute.
Rock Chalk, that's one of your sponsors, Vince. Appreciate Rock Chalk. She sponsored
Rock Chalk. So what happened with Vince's fight?
So he was supposed to have an eliminator in March. He already had one fight back out. That fight was supposed to be January. This is the second fight pull out. He says your opponent had foot surgery. What happened?
Yeah.
Foot surgery.
Yep. So excuse me.
He signed a contract for a fight in May. With Donnie Nietes is going to be on the card.
All right.
Mango? Is that your mango?
Big mango.
Yes,
a big mango.
So he has a little bit of like a Tyson Fury situation where Tyson got cut. Now his opponent had. But don't you think that foot surgery would be something that was scheduled, or like what shouldn't the injury notification come before him having surgery?
Yeah, somebody must have got some word that Vince was out there doing some damage out here in the streets. And they was like,
They went all the way to surgery. They skipped the injury part.
yeah.
Right.
Didn't Earl Spence Jr. just get a surgery or something? Yeah.
He got the eye surgery, man. He got the cataracts.
Yeah. No, he's fine, Rock Chalk. His opponent had a foot surgery, so his fight got pushed out to May. It was supposed to happen in March. So now he's got another fight contract, another opponent.
Udis. Salute Udis. Yodis.
Also, I opened up the show kind of just talking about Thursday, man. I want to get all your guys' take on the Teofimo Lopez, Jermaine Ortiz fight card. A lot of people have been talking online, man. We haven't done a show. We haven't talked about it yet. I wanted to get your take on it, Tim.
Yeah, you know that I didn't see it, right?
You didn't watch it? Yeah.
So, but you know, the word on the street is that he didn't look that good. I can't, say that honestly without without reviewing it. But the one thing that we do know is that Teofimo talks a lot about how much he deserves this and how much he deserves that. The only way that we really can figure that out, how much he deserves, is if he puts on good performances. Now, if you had to put a money value to that performance, do you think that he deserves, what was that he was asking, 30 million or something like that to fight somebody, or some crazy number? We're not going to give millions of dollars to a racehorse that looks like he barely crosses the finish line.
Right. Sometimes he looks great, and then we had the Sandor Martin performance, kind of similar to this one. Moving targets, southpaw. That kind of gives him some problems with cutting off the ring. His opponent as well, man, Jermaine Ortiz. He was moving, but he wasn't throwing nothing. Like, there was no offense. It was just a lot of running. It was one of those deals, you know what I mean? And you got to beat the champ. And I do understand when it's a title fight, you gotta prove to be the champion. You got to beat the champ. So it was just one of those fights, man. Both fighters really. I mean, Teo wanted to fight. He was trying to run. Nobody really landed. No, he couldn't cut the ring off. So both parties were, kind of not too great that night.
Right.
Yeah, I think I don't want to direct anger towards Teo because at the end of the day, the judges are the ones who pick the winner of the fight. So I hear a lot of people saying Teo robbed somebody. And it wasn't Teo that robbed somebody. It was the judges and whoever they're affiliated with. You feel me? So, but to be honest, I think Jermaine Ortiz came in with a hell of a game plan. He stayed southpaw the whole time. He was moving around the ring. He was tagging Teo. To be honest, I think I might have had to fight 9-3, 8-4 at best for Jermaine Ortiz. I don't think Teo did enough. I think Jermaine Ortiz didn't land heavy shots, but he was landing shots, and Teo was missing a gang of shots. So Teo got gifted, and I'm starting to understand that the business of boxing is more important than the sport itself. So I don't know.
But
Yeah.
So the way that I find out how he did is by asking you guys, who do you think a valuable next opponent for him is?
I think someone like an Arnold Barboza, he's a guy that he should face, and I think that will really bring probably the best out of him if he's able to come with that focus and that intensity and veracity that we've seen from him in some fights. And I think Barboza, he's been around, he's been looking for that type of fight. He's one, and then another one, Subriel Matias. We talked about it on my show. It was brought up. Matias is a guy who is not going to be bouncing around on the outside. He's going to be there ready for you. So if Teofimo is looking to engage, which he was with Ortiz, to the point of him being super frustrated, then Matias seems like the type of guy he won't have to find him. It's just a matter of if he wants to step in there with a guy like that who is very much high risk for him.
Okay, man. No, see, I saw the fight, and I being a quasi historian, I always go back and compare these fights to some of the great fights that I've seen in the past. And this fight, I compared it a lot to Jimmy Young when he tried to take the title from Muhammad Ali back in May 1976. Jimmy Young just didn't put up enough effort to be awarded the heavyweight championship of the world. Muhammad Ali was off of his game, kind of like Ortiz was. Jimmy Young had a good night, but he concentrated more on defense like Ortiz did. And I think judges favor that, even subconsciously. They kind of favor, in close rounds, they'll favor the champ. And you look at the punch stats in this fight, 60 power punches, 58 power punches in the whole fight. I mean, it was very, very underachieving, very, very underwhelming stats. I watched the fight. It was kind of putting me to sleep. It was on late, which is kind of sucks for us East Coasters, man. We're more in tune. They said it was going to be on Thursday night. I figured 10 o'clock, that's a good hour to show it, and 7 o'clock on the West Coast, that's during the week. But anyway, it was on late, and the whole card was kind of boring. There was one good undercard fight, man, but
Mason.
Yeah, Abdullah Mason, very impressive. As far as where they're going to go, I see Jermaine Ortiz saying he wants to be active, and he wants this, he wants to fight immediately. He had two opportunities to fight the elite, and he's just not quite at that level. He can go see Jimmy Birchfield and get back in line again, and earn his way up maybe, but I think he lacks that he lacks that finishing ability. And when you're in fights like that, man, I mean, Marvin Hagler said it the best when he had that controversial draw with Vito Antuofermo. He said, man, you can't rely on those judges. These are my judges from now on. And a guy like Jermaine Ortiz, he can't do that because he doesn't have the punching power. So he's in kind of a situation where he's got to get to the back of the line and get in the gym, maybe reamp his power. And as far as Tio goes, he won the title. He's got to look good in the next fight. You can't be having these lackluster performances. And especially with the money that he wants, and he's in a division that can pay real big money, but he's got to put on better performances. He didn't know how to cut the ring off. That was obvious. Everybody in the building, he wasn't listening to anybody. All he's got really is his father as his trainer. I don't know, man. I was kind of let down about at the whole thing, but Tio, he's a head case on top of it, bro. I think the man has got some serious damage upstairs. He gets through with the fight, and he says to the audience, "Hey, you don't like they're booing him?" He says, "Suck my D." And then in the next breath, he's praising Jesus Christ and he's praising the Lord. He's a whack job, bro. I think it's going to be interesting watching Teofimo Lopez. He's got great talent. He has all the potential in the world, but I think his head is kind of in a weird place right now.
I told you guys. I told you before. I said, hey, I saw the interview. Tio said he was off the ayahuasca, the peyote, and the mushrooms. And he said that brought, that gave them some clarity. What I think happened is he didn't finish the process. Because a lot of people who deal with psychedelics, they start going down that lane where it take the edge off of them, and they think they got the solution to the universe, and they think they understand how God structured everything. So I'm telling you, man, if you a boxer and ayahuasca is like a cure for PTSD, bro. Like, you need PTSD while you boxing. You need it.
Did Tio say he did ayahuasca? I didn't hear that.
He said he did. He said he did peyote, mushrooms, and ayahuasca. And he said
Okay.
he even gave the place down in Florida where he did it at.
That's a fairly impressive list of psychedelics, man. You know, I've done
Where
my day back in the 70s.
time?
There is one thing I will say before I give it to Tim.
Yeah, go
When
ahead.
you're taking these psychedelic substances, the last thing in the world you want to think about is fighting. I mean, you're dealing with emotions. You're dealing with actually, you know, you're dealing with frayed chromosomes. You know, taking that stuff. That's actually the same active ingredient in strychnine. It's not conducive to a good thing. Boxers have no way. They have no reason whatsoever to mess with any of that shit. You know, mushrooms, ayahuasca, any psychedelics. There's got no place in a fighter's fucking.
This
You know,
this is
the whole
my-
thing. Anybody doing that is out of their mind. As far as I go, man.
How
This is
are
better.
you a boxer? First of all, excuse me, guys. I just got home from work, so that's why you guys see me eating, being ghetto on the live stream. But how do you're a boxer, former world champion now or whatever. How do you find the time to have to get that kind of high? That takes a situation.
He was retired, bro.
And it takes a lot out of you too, man. You need a lot of recuperation time between those highs, and even
Deontay Wilder did it as well. That's why Deontay Wilder, I felt like he did throw one kill shot in that Parker fight. That boy was,
It puts you at peace, don't it?
yeah, man. And now we know why Wilder wasn't being really aggressive at those press conferences. Like the old Wilder would have been like, yeah, man, when I get done smacking this dude up, I'm smack you up. I'm gonna catch a body with him over there. None of that.
The perfect example of the person that did it at the right time is Mike Tyson. He did it at the right time when he needed it to help him, and now look at him. But if he would have did that shit and been the Mike Tyson now back then, he would have never continued fighting the way he fought.
Right. But Shay, you know that motherfucker got to play. He got to playing with pigeons, bro. Yeah, get my pigeons up here.
But, you know, he still that was his psychedelics right there at that time. That was his stress relief right there. The pigeons.
Salute. Just Frank. Salute.
George Frank. Salute to you, buddy. Hey, one thing I will say is so I've interviewed Teofimo a couple of times, and I'm not one who can psychoanalyze. I'm not a doctor or anything, but he seems to be an emotional guy. He doesn't act that way, I would say, in the background. It's something about, I guess, when the lights and cameras are on, it seems to bring out more of that, I guess, showman or what they call it for him. Now, that being said, it's been a number of years since I had interviewed him. And of course, he's risen to a level and status that is higher than what it was at that particular time. But from what I could gather from him, he just seems to be an emotional guy. And I think that was best exemplified how he went about that post Lomachenko win in terms of the problems he had there with Top Rank, and that ended up leaving him out of the ring for about a year. He was working out some things with Triller, and then all of that boiled down to that Kambosos loss. And I think he's been pretty much reeling since then. So we've seen kind of an on and off version of him looking like, oh, this is that Teofimo Lopez that beat Lomachenko, to this is the Sandor Martin, do I still got it, Teofimo Lopez. I'm thinking the part of it in the background might be that do I still got it kind of battling in the background,
Right.
but he can't show that in that same way out here to the face of the people. That's how I feel about it.
He might have been.
Where does he go from here? I think that was part of the original question. Where does Teofimo and remember he's still a world champion. He's still considered the lineal champion, the best in 140 until beaten.
Can I ask you a question, Bruce? Because you know I haven't seen this other fight that we're going to talk about, and that's Keyshawn Davis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm correct, he said that he wants to fight Teofimo. Now they both fought over the weekend. What do you think about that fight, Bruce?
The fight with Keith, well, he ran in the ring after the fight, and Teofimo kind of said to him, go out and get a title, and you're not going to make money off me, and blah 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 blah. Kind of, he kind of gave him the standard. You're not even in my league yet, son. So that's. I don't think we'll see that until
I'm not talking about seeing it, because again, you're talking to somebody that didn't see both of these fights. I'm asking you, how do you think that they match up?
Well, different divisions right now, but O'Shaquie Foster looked real good, and he's still got some something to prove till he gets in that top 5 elite status. But he's the goods. I just want to see him. In there with some more polished opposition.
He's not ready yet, bro. Keyshawn is not ready yet, in my opinion. And the dude lived right across the water from me. So
right.
He still got beef to settle with Andy too.
I like Keyshawn, but man, I'm about tired of people talking about everybody but who's in their own weight class. T.O., T.O. said he doesn't want somebody to run. He wants a world champion. Well, there's Matias right there. He's a world champion, and he definitely ain't going to run. But it seems like T.O. wants to have his cake and eat it too, but I don't know, man. I'd love to see that fight. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. I mean, regardless of whether people think T.O. is going to starch him or Matias is going to damn near catch another body, that's a great fight. They should make that happen next. And I don't know. I feel like the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney thing, that's booty meat. You know what I'm saying?
We want Rolly.
Yeah, or we could go Matias and Barroso, or we can go T.O. and Barroso. Whoever got the belts, man, let's get it cracking.
Yeah.
What up, familia? Salute, Kui.
Salute.
Yeah, man.
Do you think that Matias is suffering a little bit of the Jaron Ennis issue with as far as name recognition? Like, we all know these people, but if you go to your neighbor and talk about Jaron Ennis, or you talk about Matias, you might not get anything out of them. So do you blame Teofimo for looking over him?
Well, he's in that category where he's high risk and low reward, and he is very high risk. We've seen him fight. He fights a lot like Felix Trinidad. Got the devastating straight right hand, and he's definitely somebody that all the money you can make at 140, he's not somebody who they're gonna gravitate to, because, like I said, man, he's somebody who's got to go out and make a name for himself. You got the elite at 140 right now, and that's who should be fighting each other. You got the champs out there. You got Devin Haney.
Yeah, do you think that gives him a chance? Does it who is most likely to give Matias a chance?
I'll tell you, I think he's gonna fight, bro. Believe it or not, I think you're gonna see the old man, Barroso, get some shots in.
Yeah,
man. After Rolly goes face down again, another short video.
Josh, what's going on with Gary Antoine, man?
That's another one, man.
Well, yeah.
I like Gary Antoine. He's a dog, man. He's aggressive type of fighter. Him and a Matias fight would be a good fight. But what's going on with him? I haven't seen him in action in a minute.
Well, he fought like 6 months ago. I remember.
It's been a while.
He lost his. They were having some because his father used to be like the main cornerman. You know what I'm saying? So he passed. Gary Russell Jr. kind of took over that position. You know what I mean? And but I haven't been seeing him lately, bro. I haven't seen him fight in over a year, I think.
Yeah. I know they're still in the gym. They stay in the gym. But yeah, you're right. He is another one who has that promise. I think he's 14-0, 14 knockouts right now. He would be a legit player. I know last time he fought, it was a card here at the MGM in Oxon Hill, Maryland, and he was the co-main. So, yeah, ideally, he's someone that I know would step in there with pretty much any challenger. But I think it's a matter of, having that right. He's with PBC, so I guess you got Al, but having.
I'm gonna interject that, man, because we gotta be always remember boxing is a business.
Yeah.
And, I mean, PBC now they're going to be so limited in the amount of cards that they're going to be putting on for the amount of money they have to pay their fighters. And we're going to see this next one coming up. We're going to see the Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu, and from what I understand, that's kind of like a fire sale for Keith Thurman, because PBC's been paying him this money every month, and he hasn't been doing anything. And now they got a chance to make some big bucks on him, and it's almost like they throw him to the wolves. I think Tim Tszyu is going to have a field day with an older, lighter weight, active Tim Tszyu. It's going to be a slaughter, but this is the big boxing.
Yeah,
Keith Thurman knows exactly what you just said as well, and we all know that he's at the end. He's at the end. There's not much. What really is out there for him right now, but this fight to make a little bit of cash. But I want to go back to what you guys were talking about earlier, as far as these fighters not having enough name recognition and us wanting these fights that are happening, but they're not happening because it's a business. But what do we see out there? Who's making the most money right now in boxing? People that are on YouTube, people that are on social media promoting themselves now, not waiting for the promoter to make a name for themselves.
Right, so yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's a whole different era right now where you can make so much money just by one video going viral. How do we help these fighters like Matisse, there's certain fighters that might not be able to might not be able to communicate with American audiences as well, but they're going to get left behind. One analogy that I tell people is that people that wanted to stay on radio when TV came around, they got forgotten about. We don't know any real radio disc jockeys anymore or anything like that. We're all on to TV, and now TV's even getting left behind. We're all on streaming apps now. So these fighters that are out there right now that thinking that the old way of promoting is going to still work is not going to work. You can have 12 wins, 12 knockouts. If you don't have a video on YouTube, it don't matter right now. So how does the boxing community come together and realize that? It's unlike any other sport. NBA, guaranteed paycheck. MLB, guaranteed paycheck. NHL, guaranteed paycheck. They don't have to promote themselves. They got people coming to the locker room to interview them.
People like us, man. We need to be the people that actually get a hold of some of these people that nobody knows about, and maybe have a conversation with them on here. Maybe talk, do some videos and show some highlights of them, because in this boxing prediction leagues that we're in, a lot of the fights that are on the card, sometimes they're people that I've never heard or never seen of. It forces me to go and try to look for a video or two about them. And in some cases, you got to go back 3 years to find a video about somebody who's fought 3 times since that last 3 years, and you don't have there's nothing there. So they got to do their end and upload the information, and we should do our end and get these guys to come on and have conversations with us about what it is they really want, and just start putting pressure on these dudes. And to answer your other question, I do blame Teofimo, because nobody has ever done enough until somebody gives them an opportunity to fight. So it takes someone giving somebody who hasn't had a shot an opportunity. If that doesn't happen, then you become stagnant, and all you get is people doing what we got now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
So how do we get these fighters to believe in us? Because all of us on this panel have reached out to fighters and have gotten nothing back before. You know, we every now and then we hit the lottery, we get a good person on here. But how do we get these fighters to understand, like, look, this is the future. This is the way that you got to do things. It don't matter how small the platform is, how big the platform is. You need that content.
so, from my perspective, I'll say that just thinking about it in terms of just reaching out to some of these guys, I think some of it also comes down to the team they may have around them as well. For instance, I know that, for instance, there are amateur boxers out there who amassed a large following on social media, more so than some of these boxers who have been on television in televised fights on big networks, things of that nature. And they just seem to be geared towards, or they have the right team behind them, really pushing stuff out. So you get a better understanding of that fighter. So you just see them more out there on social media. And some of this is not even from them actually saying much on camera. It's just videos of them working the heavy bag, working the mitts, things of that nature. But they're constantly putting it out there, and they're constantly trying to draw that interest in. And I think also with boxing, especially when you take in the business side, it may be one of those things where it's kind of close knit for some. So they're usually, for some of the boxers, in order to ensure that, hey, they're not putting themselves in a bad situation, they may not respond to certain individuals unless, someone for their team has vetted it or whatnot and say, okay, yeah, you should do this or whatever it may be. But I think there is some emphasis on individuals like us or whatnot, when we're reaching out, them trying to do interviews, take advantage of any opportunity they can get. But yeah, certainly, I guess it will vary just depending on where said boxer thinks they are from a societal standpoint, or at least from an interest standpoint, versus how we view them. And that I think that's an interesting balance they can have in trying to juggle it themselves. That probably is one of the issues there. I think having the right people who understand how social media works and all of that stuff is a plus. I would invest in such if I was a boxer looking to just kind of continue to up my status and recognition.
Bruce, was today or yesterday the anniversary of Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas?
That was yesterday, I believe.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
If we had this kind of social media when that fight happened,
right?
Could you imagine the explosion that fight alone would have broke the internet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about it, it was like the bum of the month club. Mike Tyson was annihilating all these contenders left and right. So Buster Douglas was looked on as a real easy. I mean, you got that. You got that blood, sweat, and tears 42-1, the 42-1 underdog that the media wasn't even covering it. A lot of the publications, they didn't send reporters out. A lot of newspapers who had sports
we
department.
We could have got Buster Douglas because nobody was we could have got him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I mean, this media that we have is a very powerful thing. I mean, there's a lot of fighters now that I'm friends with on Facebook that I know I'm going to get interviews with, and I'm not even going to mention the name, but some of these guys were my heroes growing up, and if this media was there back in their day, it would have made them more. I don't even know how the words to describe it, but it's just a whole new phenomenon now. Like Tim was saying, we don't have television anymore. I mean, I disconnected my cable way over a year ago. It's just internet. I mean, anything we want to see on there, what's happening in the world, politics, sports, and I mean, shit, we could watch the Super Bowl live on the internet. It's just amazing. There's no need for television. It's almost become as obsolete as freaking 8-track tape players, and
See, Bruce, you're saying something with that, right?
Mhm.
Here's the other issue, right? So we got to look back in history to figure out sometimes how we're supposed to move forward. If you go all the way back to the Industrial Revolution, people used to do things by hand. They handcrafted, they hand did everything, and then machines came in and took over. And then a lot of the handcrafters and people like that, they lost their jobs, they lost their industry because machines replaced them. So the people who actually made the adjustment and went over to the machinery, the heavy machinery, did well, right? So let's fast forward all the way till today. People in your age group, my dad's age group, they're not really internet savvy, but they're the walking encyclopedias of the information. People need to get those guys and get them over to these platforms so that we can extract that information out of them to blend the two. And then the other thing, last point I want to make is I believe I've been stuck on that boxing academy thing. That's a great thing. I think the young boxers should enroll themselves in some sort of boxing academy. Maybe we need to create one in the States. And in that boxing academy, we teach them about business of boxing. We teach them about promotions. We teach them about how they need to engage with their audience in order to build their brand, right? So in hip hop, people never told guys that you don't do a 360 deal. They're going to put it in your junk and you're going to be out of the industry in 1 year. You're going to be a one-hit wonder because you don't understand how the whole thing works. We need to teach the kids how the whole thing works because at some point they're getting their brains punched in and they're not going to be able to remember how to do that stuff. They only operate off of reflexes.
So I agree with the academy. I think that's a great idea. My issue with the current state of where we are right now is that we don't need to look to the elders as much as we can just talk into our phone, okay? And ask any question that you want to ask. You have to be smart enough to do that. I've come across I helped the gym in Camden, right? And I helped them get Camden, New Jersey is like a really rough place in America. And I helped this rec center get heavy bags, boxing gloves, and all that. And I went there and I watched these kids work out. They got a kid there. They call him YouTube. You know why they call him YouTube? Because he came into the gym already knowing his stance, already knowing how to punch, already knowing what a slip was, pretty much already ready to almost spar because he was looking on YouTube.
Right.
That's why they call this kid YouTube. So for these boxers out there, we already see the blueprint. Jake Paul showed us. The Misfits are showing us. They're showing us how to do it. All we have to do is mimic them. Not me, but all these other fighters have to do is not so much shun these people because a lot of people are hating on these guys, the Ryan Garcias, the Jake Pauls, but they're showing you the future. They're showing everybody, look, boxing is not. You can't depend on Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn. They're looking out for their bottom line, their pocket. If you want to take your career in your own hands, you have to mimic these other people that you see making millions and can't even fight. If they can do it and can't fight, then these boxers should be able to do it.
Right.
They just got to learn how to do an algorithm. So you got to be smart a little bit. They got to learn how the algorithm works. But other than that, then everything is right here. You can look to the elders for education as far as how to fight. But even these elders need to have YouTube channels.
Yep.
To be able to spread their message to people that are in China. Because the world is so small right now. I hate to be preaching, but these boxers need to not hate on these guys on YouTube, but actually learn that what they're doing is the future.
Oh, I don't hate them, man. I really think that fighters are starting to realize that, man. Even the old guys, the old guys I talk to, I try to get the interviews, and it's like, we can do them by phone, but then I'm like, we're in the age of the internet. And they're like, I know, man. I want to get set up. I want to get the laptop, but it's just so hard. And like Ernest was saying, man, different generations. But hey, man, you snooze, you lose.
Some
And,
people are still be on radio while we're on streaming.
Hey, shout out to Pounds. Shout out to my brother L Dub. I see my man KO Boxing breaking news on there, man. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you coming in here, man. Hey, it's a whole new world. But the older cats they're starting to appreciate it now. I'm seeing a lot of them on Facebook. Guys you wouldn't think, and they're posting every day, bro. They're like James Toney is putting shit out there every day. Macho Camacho Jr.
Shannon Briggs, he's big.
Alonzo Ratliff, man. I put out the bugs. Alonzo Ratliff put a thing on there. No, Bruce Gas. I don't smoke those no more. I gave it up. Praise the Lord. And it's like, man, we're having such interaction with these cats now that it's a smaller world, man. It's just so much more, so much we've broken down a lot of borders, and these guys know they're accessible now. They can get out there. They can promote themselves. They don't need the promoters that they needed back in the 80s and 90s, because you got it right. Like you said, man, kid YouTube, he knows the way.
And speaking of promoting and viral, you seen the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Bill Haney, and
look at that. I wasn't even thinking about Ryan and Devin.
Yeah.
Now look at us.
Bill and Devin figured it out a long time ago.
People are soaking that shit up. Every boxing channel, bro, on Instagram, bro, has that.
Yeah.
I've seen that story, that damn clip about 1,000 times already.
Hey, but look, we have another problem that people aren't talking about. The same way you guys mentioned how the switch from radio to TV and TV to internet, right? So what happens when someone that was someone like a Sean Porter? This will be a best example. When a Sean Porter decides to make the move to be a YouTube boxing analyst or a person that has a podcast, you find yourself competing with people who already have an enormous audience, right? You can only funnel so much attention into different directions. So it's hard to actually pick up some boxing enthusiasts or whatever, because they're going to the known brand versus what we have here.
I don't, and in my opinion, there's no, for someone like Sean Porter, who is a public commentator, we see him on TV, to not be able to have 100,000 followers is impossible. To me, I don't know, but I think that's impossible. But at the end of the day, the internet is so big. There's so many channels out there that we don't even know that are making millions. Right. These channels that I can't believe it. You're seeing kids open up toys making millions. The other day I seen this lady shows your product for like 3 seconds, throws it away. She made like 18 million last year. The internet is so big that you cannot use that there's so many boxing channels out there already. No, it's a universe. You want to think about going out in the outer space and
dude, you know what it is too? We're such a limited market, boxing. I was reading today what do they call it? The number of homes who were tuned in on ESPN to watch the fight, and it was like 500,000 on Saturday night, which that's like such a small percentage for a free world title boxing event. It's not a huge market out there. It's very, very selective boxing. What do they call that thing where they put the box on your TV and they can tell who tuned into the show? Anybody know?
I have no idea, but I think
I'll think of it as we go along.
I think that I need to be a boxing manager because my answer to that being a small niche is why would Huh?
Nielsen.
Nielsen
Nielsen
ratings.
sound scan.
Why would you narrow yourself right now into only being in front of boxing people when you can be in front of people that like to cook, people that are looking on the internet about fixing cars, or people
Yeah.
that are, what the internet is so small. There's so many channels out there. Like, let's just say if Ryan Garcia called up Jake Paul and they were doing something about Pokemon cards, you think that Jake Paul wouldn't have Ryan Garcia on there opening Pokemon cards with him to make content?
See, that's kind of my lane. My podcast is kind of like that. Do you know the Pauls met up with one of my buddies that's called the Crystal Collector, right? And those guys they went viral going to dig crystals in Arkansas, right? So his boxing crowd saw that. They're in my lane. I do cooking. I got recipes and stuff that I've been making videos about. So that's the type of stuff I'm gonna have on my channel. So I'm kind of a wide range.
This is what the new Gary Gary Russell, he needs to come on your podcast and show that he's interested in cooking or he's interested in music. He might be a boxer, but he's a lot of things, and these boxers got to get out of their bubble, and it's going to generate more followers, more views, more interest. We won't have you be a Jaron Ennis or a Matisse. This is how this whole conversation started. Remember, we want these boxers to be known so some of these fights can happen. It's not the only reason.
Yeah.
What if one of us organize a thing that we're doing right now? The thing we're doing right now, except for one of us is actually with the boxer at their gym, or maybe we need to send because I mean, Josh, you're right up there in the DC area, bro. Like, there's nothing that says you can't go into one of those gyms or make contacts with one of those guys and then bring the show to them.
How about this? How about this? I hate to keep talking. I'm sorry. I know you talk to him, but I know Jaron Ennis. I know his dad. I know his brothers. I have a nonprofit where we clean up we're going to do a public cleanup. Imagine having Jaron Ennis out there while we're doing a public cleanup and talking to him and him showing the world that, wow, I came up to this charity event and this is what I'm doing. I'm not saying that he don't do that. They might do that, but to do it for publicity and to create content would be great. I don't really see that much.
Yeah, I mean, we need a Walter Payton Award for boxers, like Keyshawn. After Keyshawn did his victory, he comes home to Norfolk and has a huge barbecue for people, and he celebrates them that way. But nobody's really capturing that.
Yeah.
He needs to be on Keyshawn's YouTube channel.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree. Definitely. Yeah. So I know I'm working some stuff on the back end, and there are a lot of contacts out there. I'm in agreement with Tim. Yeah, it is a sort of large world, large universe as it relates to YouTube. So, yeah, there are a lot of people out there, but certainly I think that there are lanes for a number of different individuals. Each channel has the opportunity to be unique in its own way. You're hearing a different voice. So it's a load in terms of maintaining and keeping up with it. But from what I gathered, that kind of sustains things over time. And then the part of getting the boxers on and things of that nature, there are those that will be more than willing who understand it a little bit more. And I guess embracing those guys and gals even more is of benefit as well. Those who we know want to be out there, want to be on some of these shows, and want to continue to speak about what they have going on. I think embracing them and helping them is a key piece of it as well, because like there are some, as mentioned, I've reached out to some before. I've seen some in person as well. And yeah, I think some of it is that kind of trust factor in not knowing a person, and that may hold some of them back. But by that same token, for every one of them, there are some others out there who are on a completely different vibe, and they're fully open to interacting and being involved in things of this nature.
Yeah.
So,
And
Josh,
yeah, subscribers,
what do you think us as? Because I look at me, Bruce, Skywalker, you, Ernest. I look at us as journalists.
Yeah.
What do you think that us? We've been honestly holding ourselves accountable this whole conversation, but what do you think us as journalists could do better specifically to capture some of these people?
You know, that's a good question. I think just making it sort of a welcoming situation, and that's not that it isn't. I think just making it a welcoming situation as more boxers start to see maybe some of their peers, things of that nature, start to appear on some of these channels, then I think that's how some of that word of mouth spreads about and more are willing and get engaged with doing such. I think it's one of those situations, you know, as they say, the slogan or the saying is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I think as long as we continue putting out the content that we're putting out, if you build it, they will come, that type situation. I think that kind of plays into it as well. And then the collaborative aspect, I think that adds a piece because oftentimes you'll have some who are really just focused on kind of doing what they can do for their own channel or whatnot. But here, the environment has always been, hey, we're open, bridging the gap in some sense. So we're doing a panel, everyone can be involved. And I think that helps to kind of usher in a means for which some of these boxers, some of these others see that, hey, we do have a number of channels, a number of individuals out there who aren't necessarily just looking to take advantage. They're really true stewards and fans of the sport. So, and they're really providing true journalistic input in that sense, because I think that some of the big names you see on the journalism side, a lot of it is geared towards kind of just breaking news first, but this is really the grassroots level we're here at right now. So our intent is not to say, oh, such and such is going to fight someone and be the first one to say it. We're really just trying to have conversations with these individuals as people, you know?
Yeah.
We got to get some boots on ground, bro.
Well, we've had a lot of luck last year, man. We had a lot of world champions coming in, hanging out with us, coaches, trainers. Lately, I know we've been kind of 2024. We kind of been slow starting. I think the issue with that, man, I think it's all networking, man. A lot of the connections we made, man, is the viewers, man. We're nothing without our subscribers, and everybody's got connections, man. So
Yeah, that's
any suggestions for the show? I have an email. It's linked in my description on my YouTube channel. It's skywalkerboxing@gmail.com. Everybody has a way to contact everybody, right? So, that's the best thing, man. Is connections, word of mouth. We just got to get out there more.
Skywalker, before I leave, my last question is for you though, because you work really hard with trying to get guests and really try to bring people on. I know that I've asked people that I fought before to come on the show.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's been hard to get them to come on the show, you know what I mean? What would you suggest to the person that is in our position trying to get these interviews that come up with situations like that? What would you suggest to them? Because we also need something to keep us going as well. You know, it would be easy for us to say, damn, nobody's coming on our show, let's just give it up. What do you suggest for a podcaster or a journalist to keep going and keep persevering?
Man, I think just thinking outside the box, doing stuff different, unique. I mean, eventually, you know what I mean? Like I like the aspect like Ernest was saying, like we need to go mobile. I've done that before, but at the time I didn't have the right equipment. I've been to a lot of events. I was in Vegas and I had my cell phone. You know what I'm saying? With press credentials, you know what I'm saying? Here I'm just taking pictures with my phone. But if I had a better camera or, you know what I'm saying, an extra person, That was through PBC. That was Magnum Media. That was my first press credential last year in Vegas. You know what I mean? But I think that we should cover the gyms. Like, you're in Philly. That's the mecca of boxing.
Yeah.
He's in DC. He's up there by Tank and Gary Antoine. Bruce is up there with Demetrius Andrade, and who else? Who else is in? You got some good up and coming fighters out of Rhode Island, right, Bruce?
Oh, a lot more Hall of Famers, the guys I hang around with. You know, the Vinny Paz's, the
OGs.
Sandman Parker. You know, all the cats up here. And hey, let me shout out OTB Boxing, man. Thank you for coming by. But KO right there, he's got the answer, bro. Just ask him, man. Even the outstanding amateur and upcoming prospects, because, man, you know, like you said, this is the way of the world right now. Everybody's on YouTube. 37 million YouTube channels out there. There's something for everybody. And hey, man, right now we're networking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different platforms right now off this show right here. So we just get them out there. We say, hey, listen, man, we got about 500,000 viewers out there combined watching you. So get on here and get with the program.
Well, you know, journalists are ambitious and aggressive, and they're determined to get to where they're going to get to, right? So to be honest, like, I go and watch a lot of different people's platforms. I make sure I speak in there. If I could donate something to the cause or whatever, if I got to go crack a couple jokes or something so my name gets out there, you know what I mean? They're going to be like, okay, that's the guy that's always cracking jokes. Or that's the guy that has a different opinion from anything we've ever heard before, right? And then next thing you know, you're plugged into the matrix. So to be honest, man, like I'm ready, bro. I've got equipment. I've been building it up. I've been working on a lot of stuff. And if we need to start getting some boots on ground, start getting some credentials and things like that, then I think we're getting close, man. We just got to. I'm not losing energy. I love what we're doing. You know, I feel like we're gaining energy, and there's some stuff that I'm working on that I can't talk about right now until it's done, because people steal ideas, and I want my ideas to be protected by, you know, my official LLC type deal. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I announce something, it's going to be because it's backed by an LLC. I've gone about it the right way. I have it in writing, and it's not for me. I want to give credit to the people, you know, that are in our chat, the people that have helped us get there. And I always do that. So I think as long as we're doing what we're doing, we're working our way towards the right direction, and we will get a break one day.
Ernest, just don't forget about me, Ernest. All right.
I ain't forgetting nobody, bro.
Hey, I had one quick thing, and this is a good question for you, Tim, because I'm thinking about it. Like around here, I'm involved with the amateur boxing. One of the things we're starting to do is get we're going to start filming a lot of that content to get these young boxers used to going in front of people, doing interviews, things of that nature. Now, for a person like yourself, of course, your father fought and all that, so I'm sure you were used to media, things of that nature being around. Did that make it easier for you? Like if someone is approaching and wants to talk and do interviews and things of that nature?
100%. Imagine being like 13 years old and you're sharing the elevator with Lennox Lewis. He has a fucking monkey on his shoulder, and you're the biker. Imagine being 16 years, or I don't know how old I was, going to Madison Square Garden, seeing Paulie Malignaggi warming up in the tunnel before anybody knew who he was, you know, or going into the Klitschko's dressing room just to shake their hand, and they're not letting anybody really in, but you get to go in. You know, that I 100% have been privileged in that way, where I've seen, you know, P. Diddy, Sean and Marlon Wayans right sitting next to me. I've met Evander Holyfield. You know, my sisters have pictures with Mike Tyson. That, to me, talking to people, doing what we're doing right now is not really an issue. What I want people to understand before I leave is that TV is over. You know, TV is over. So it doesn't matter if you know these people or you don't know these people. We are just one click from talking to them.
Yeah.
We are just one click. Now, for somebody like me who is not really out of the ordinary, for them to come to my gym to have a documentary about Joe Frazier, or I have pictures of me with Muhammad Ali. I understand that. Privileged beyond belief. But what I want other people to understand is that these people are just as close to them as they are to me now.
Yeah.
Back then, when Muhammad Ali was only doing talk shows and things like that, that's the only time that you could see him on ABC, NBC, boom. Now you can click and type in the name of the person that you want to watch. But if you yourself, the individual, doesn't understand that that's what people are doing now, and every business owner should understand this, that it doesn't matter if you're Home Depot. When people are looking for screws and they type in screws, Home Depot better come up first.
Yeah.
You know, so when people are looking up top 10 boxers, top this, or just even a southpaw boxer, let's just say that southpaw boxers, you better be on the internet with that in one of your descriptions so you can pop up and people can see who you are. That's the main, and I love this conversation that we had. We didn't really even get to talk about a lot of fights, but us five right here on this panel are just talking about the future and how things are going to be ran from here on out. It's not, the TV is done, guys.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Saturday Night Live in fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Saturday Night Live in 20 years. It's still there, but you're more likely to be seen on was it Eli Setback's?
Ellie Setback. Yeah.
You're more likely as a boxer to be seen on there than on Late Night with whoever.
Yeah.
You know, that's just my opinion. So, guys, radio has been dead. TV is dead. Just know you can still do those things, but your main focus should be right now what we're doing. Podcasting, getting that content out. Guys, I'm out.
All right, Tim.
All right. Tim.
Thank you for letting me take all the talk time. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Young Terrible. I'll talk to you next time, brother.
All right, guys.
This is good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Hey, listen, man, we gotta chop this video up and share it and get it out there on different platforms and let people see, what our true intentions are. Each of us have our own opinions. We talk about the boxers we like or we don't like, but ultimately we're here for the sport. So when some boxers see that, perhaps they want to come over and have a little chat with us. It's only going to help us. It's only going to help them. And when they find out that, we're trying to build this brand to be able to help sponsor and get people attention that they need to be able to make it, it's a mutual partnership, mutually beneficial partnership.
Oh, yeah.
My brother Soul Rebel out there, man. Thank you for stopping by.
A1 Hoop Zone, salute, brother.
Anybody wants to come up here, man, if you want to keep us up here for a bit, I dropped the link. You're more than welcome to come up here and let us know what's going on, man. Just a bunch of clowns kicking back up here, man. I think we ran out of things to talk about because there were no major fights this weekend. We had the Teofimo and the freaking Ortiz fight. I think everybody is sick of that fight, man. I'm not going to watch it again. I want to forget it ever happened. It's the way boxing goes. This was a terrible decision. It was a terrible fucking performance by Teofimo Lopez too. So, the fucking thing is gone. Let's move on. What's happening next, man? The Oshaki Foster and the
Abraham Nova.
Yeah, this would be a good one.
Supernova.
coming up, man. That's another one, bro. We have Bobby
Benton.
Oshaki Foster's trainer.
Bobby
Fucking
Benton.
Bobby Benton, right, man? He's been over to the tavern a couple of times. I talked to him up there with Mad Chat maybe a month or two ago, man. This guy's a world champion. fucking supernova. He looked good in all his performances, except who did he get knocked out by? Was it
Robeisy Ramirez.
Yeah.
Ramirez, right, man, right? And I said earlier, Robesi's the boogeyman in 140. So hey, man, it's going to be an interesting fight. It's at Madison Square Garden on Friday night. Friday night at the fights, man. That's what we all like. And Madison Square Garden, they're going to start it at a reasonable hour for us East Coasters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this weekend, my one of my best friends, his daughter, she's a gymnast, and like last year, like these girls were 7 and 8, and they were the best in the country. They're out of Bowie, Maryland. They're like one of the only black gymnastics clubs in America, and these little girls are, man, they're the future of America. They're the Olympians. They're going to be sweeping all awards like they have. Like I got so much video on them. If I wasn't doing that event this weekend, I most certainly would try to get up to NYC, up to the Garden to get some video on that. Man, if one of you guys can get up there and get some film out there, maybe talk to a couple people, man, that'd be great. You think that event's gonna go on, bro? Like it's some nasty weather that's gonna be rolling in.
Oh yeah, tonight it's gonna start at midnight.
It's gonna be nasty. We talking feet of snow.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, so here I haven't looked at the weather there.
Man, if anybody wants to cash out me, let's see. Me and the old lady go to New York City for a couple of days. 1,500, 2,000, right in that neighborhood. I'll be glad to film the whole thing for you, bro. It'll be live and in glorious color on Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. We can stream it to all our brothers and sisters platforms that we're doing this out on. And that's the only way you're going to get my ass to New York City, especially with such short notice.
Yeah.
I'm get the cops to harass you about that green dragon.
Hey, the green dragon. I've got the smorgasbord in front of me, bro. I got the legendary green dragon right here. I've got the vape at my disposal. And of course, man, the old standby. Nothing better, right? The Toka 2. And every one of them with arm's reach, my brother. I wouldn't be able to get on here and do this shit without my little vice over here. The only mind-altering substance that enters my body. No ayahuasca anymore, man. I hadn't done that shit since the 70s.
You don't want to lick the toad, bro?
I've been there, bro.
Hey, Bruce, 420, we're going to be getting stoned watching Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, bro. 420.
Oh, yeah, man. 420 for sure, bro. I did a show last year on 420. It was fucking great. I had, let's see, I think, Get This Smoke was on there with me for almost the whole show. And a bunch of fucking stoners popped on there. And we just fucking we talked about the holiday that it's probably the biggest holiday since I've been in existence that I've seen created. And I've seen like Martin Luther King created. I've seen President's Day, which is next weekend, created. And I've seen so many of them, man. So many holidays. But compared to 420, they're all in the back seat, man. 420 is my day.
I don't know, man. I got Juneteenth.
Yeah, Juneteenth just came around.
I don't know. You know what? I feel like somebody needs to talk about Jack Johnson. Well, maybe not us, but one of you historians. Y'all need to have a conversation about Jack Johnson this month, because Jack Johnson was a damn vigilante. He went out there and he beat up old white dudes. He caused a riot across America, and he was out there having interracial relations out in the public, just making everybody mad. And he was one of the greatest heavyweights to do it. Why ain't nobody talking about that?
Oh, I've had a number of conversations on him there, Ernest.
Yeah.
If you check my channel archive, I've had a number of Jack Johnson conversations. I've done a Juneteenth for Jack Johnson show. I'm into the history of the sport, really, to be honest, from that time frame. So we're talking late 1800s, early 1900s. So I'm all for that. Definitely Jack Johnson. If we want to have a discussion on him again, and I've had a number of them, then I'm always down for it. Want to
Hey,
do
let
a
me
panel
know, bro.
discussion?
Send me a message because I want to talk about that pipe he was laying out there, bro.
Yeah. I'm usually talking more about the boxing aspect though, but yeah, he has some wild stories tied to him for sure though.
But you know, to be honest, boxing is really, it's a tribal sport. People from their own countries, they go with whoever's from their country. People's from their, our panel is very fairly diverse, and we don't really pick and choose based off of identity. We pick and choose because we love the sport, but the sport is not like that. The sport is based off of race. It's based off of, what my man say, I ain't gonna lose to no flat-footed Mexican. Keith Thurman called an Australian dude a flat-footed Mexican, bro. Like, he knows that that's gonna get a rise out of people. And you get people hype about some stuff, they're coming in. You can't say anything bad about Australians because they coming in with the boomerangs ready to bust you upside your junk. You can't say nothing about the Mexicans, right? You can't say that. There's a bunch of people you can't say nothing bad about because they got tribes that's coming after you. So, we should talk about those things except for indigenous people. They don't really seem to have boxers out there.
Yeah, there's
Thomas, my brother. Shout out to you, my man. Hey, look at that album that's hanging above my shoulder, man. Miles Davis, Jack Johnson. You familiar with that? Awesome jazz fusion album by the legendary Miles Davis, man. In fact, one of the songs on there is named. In fact, the whole album is about boxers. There's a song on there called Jack Britton. There's a song on there called Archie Moore, and there's a song on there called Davy Moore. So this
Who's
Miles
covering
Davis.
that? That's a whole topic by itself. A guy made an album. He fused jazz and boxing together. That's your lane, right? Boxing, jazz, and more?
That's a classic jazz LP, bro. Miles Davis, and I talked to Archie Moore's daughter. Miles Davis used to come to Archie Moore's training camps just to play the trumpet while Archie hit the speed bag. Then he'd hit the heavy bag and he'd play some blues. But jazz and boxing go hand in hand, man. That's why I'm Bruce Gass, boxing, jazz, and more. Because shit, you go you watch Sonny Liston hit the speed bag to Night Train by Charlie Parker. I mean, that's just a classic fucking testament to boxing and jazz right there, man.
What do we have modern? Was it Jadakiss? Hit him with a left, hit him with a right, like Fight Night. You know what I'm saying?
That was
who did
the
that?
Migos actually right there.
Okay, yeah. You see what I'm
I
saying?
know what you're saying.
So we only have one example of that. And
Well, I put my earbuds on every morning. I go for a walk a couple of miles, and I hear a lot of boxing songs in modern music that I didn't even know existed, man. I heard one by Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler, Sonny Liston, and the Big Bear, and I'm listening to it, man, especially with the earbuds on. That's all you hear. I'm like, listen to these fucking words, man. He's talking about the man who nobody knew the day he was born or the day that he died, and
My mom has a famous song. Yeah, they have a Bobby Chacon song, man, by David Lear. It's pretty nice to talk about him knocking out people.
Yeah, that's what's up right there. Yeah, there's some out there for
Yeah,
sure.
a Warren Zevon song too, man. Hurry on home, Boom Boom Mancini's fighting Bobby Chacon. That was fucking famous when I was growing up, man.
well, you got somebody got to remix that and put some EDM or something like that behind it. So
You don't even have to remix it, man. It's cool stuff. You ever listen to Warren Zevon? I mean, he did one famous song, Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Everybody knows that song. And Werewolves of London.
It sounded like you said Warren G.
No, Warren Zevon.
Just hit the east side on the LBC.
Sweet Stories by Dave Lear, Bobby Chacon. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Respect right there.
Yeah, bro. It's on Spotify.
Yeah, it looked like Spotify, Dave Lear, Bobby Chacon.
Yeah, see, like we're talking about how this social media is. I don't listen to radio anymore, but I listen to Spotify, but I don't buy it. I take the free version, and you listen to like a commercial every 3-4 songs, just like the old radio. But That's the power of social media, and they're making do with people like me, the majority who listen for free, but we listen to the commercials. And man, I'll tell you, I'm dying to get a fucking Discover card, bro. All I'm hearing is Jane Oliver with her Discover card, and I had believe me, man.
I don't do commercials, bro. I don't do commercials. I paid for the subscription. I can't do commercials. And, to be honest with you, I kind of get mad when some of us start doing a commercial in the middle of the show because I'm paying not to be advertised to.
Right.
Well, I mean, that to me, that's how boxing originally survived. That's how they thrived with sponsorships and with commercials. There was no pay-per-view. I mean, there was pay-per-view for select few fights, but mostly it was boxing surviving on Budweiser fucking advertising and Pizza Hut in the later days, and then Jose Cuervo. I mean, great sponsors. They had even Taco Bell was sponsoring boxing. It was a popular sport. Rolex was sponsoring Chevrolet. It was fucking hip, and that's how we got to see the fights, man. Because I used to buy a lot of Budweiser back in the day, and we'd make sure we got a pizza delivered. So if boxing can go back to commercials again, I'm all for that. I'll suffer through 60 seconds every couple of rounds for get boxing back on. And who's going to pay for it on YouTube? They got to go out and get some kind of sponsorship too. I don't know, man.
We just make our own commercial, bro. Be like, hey, the Negroes are coming to steal the Mexican women. They're gonna take them all from you. Make some dumb commercial, and next thing you know,
nah. I'm serious. I'm serious.
On the ring, bro.
I'm serious. We can pay for this content without paying out of our pocket. We can pay by supporting the sponsors. That's all I'm saying. Because most people, they can't afford an extra. They can't afford to buy the premium services, man. The town I live in is blue collar. People are fucking broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, NASCAR got a lot of money, and they do like mad advertisements on. They got so many sponsors, and that's what boxing needs to do. You know what I mean? Just a lot of sponsorship, a lot of big sponsors.
That's how they thrive. Yeah, I think they do. You see it. Some have them on their trunk. I think that still is what pushes some of these fighters through camps and all that stuff. Probably some more so than others, but it's something that is still around. And unlike, say, the UFC, for instance, where they've kind of taken it and made it more of a conglomerate effort in terms of they control the sponsorships. Now, boxing, you still have the ability to do so yourself. It's just a matter of just being linked with the right companies and all of that stuff, and
but
showing that benefit.
Issue, Josh, that stuff is real funny, man. I used to set up like concerts and stuff like that and try to get some people from famous artists to come and do a show somewhere, a comedy show or a musical show. And bro, if you don't have the right, you need somebody that has the complexion for whatever it is to be able to get that sponsor, right? So let's say I'm the face of something and I'm trying to throw a festival in this town and Budweiser is in this town. I go to Budweiser like, hey, look, I'm going to do this large event that involves all this stuff. There'll probably be about 15,000 people that show up, right? But because I look like I look, he's not going to be able to pull that off. He can't do that. You have to have somebody that you have to have a number of different people who are able to go in those doors and get those people who have the bag to actually come and do this, because it doesn't hurt them. It's a tax write-off for them. But if you can't communicate with them properly, they're not gonna let you get in there and start making money. It doesn't work like that. So Canelo has Hennessy, right? You know any Mexicans that drink Hennessy?
They like Buchanan.
Be real. Do you know any Mexicans that drink Hennessy?
Yes, man.
But Canelo got Hennessy. They know they can make some money from him. But Mexicans ain't buying Hennessy, bro. They the cervezas. You feel me? They drinking that.
No, Canelo's a global star though. That's why though they could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you see people like Ronda Rousey and what's my man name? Conor McGregor. those guys had like Apple deals. Like you see certain types of people getting enormous sponsorships. There's the girl who was the track star from University of Kentucky. She ain't won shit. She finished 4th or 5th in the Olympics or in any race that she went against them Jamaican girls or anybody from the USA, and she has a $2 million deal with Puma. And there are girls that are beating the brakes off of her, and they can't get sponsorship. It's hard to break into that. It's hard to get sponsorship, man.
Yeah, it certainly can vary, but yeah, I think having some of it comes down to that team networking and who you know can come into the fold a good deal as well. That's how some opportunities come about, just knowing a person who sits in the right rooms, etc. So that is an aspect of it, I'd imagine, as well.
Bruce, you know any young ladies that got that good cleavage? I mean,
Maybe.
You see what I'm saying? Like, those are the people we need to send and holler at them sponsors.
I don't know. I don't know, Ernest. I'm not quite following you, bro.
What I'm saying is in order to make your way into industry, you need to be in with the sponsors, like Josh was saying. You don't, in order to do anything big or large on a larger scale, somebody has to put up the bread.
Well, that all helps big time, but you got to be a hustler, bro. You got to work your ass off nonstop, because, like I said earlier, you got 37 million fucking YouTube channels out here. If you want to succeed on here, you have to have something for all of them. With us boxing, we're a small market. We're nickel and dime. We're not going to get a lot of people on boxing platforms, and it's just the way it is. I don't do this to get sponsors or to get money. I do this because I love boxing and I love talking about it. And that's the only reason. I'm not on here looking for anything, man. If I got 2 people in my room right now watching it, I'm doing good, man. That's the way that's how I feel about this, bro. And getting people on here. I love getting boxers on here. I love people involved in the fights. We do it all the time with the Tim and Tim show, man. We had so many of them last year. I can't even remember half of them. I'm seeing them fighting. I'm saying, did we talk to that guy? Oh yeah, man, we did. Skywalker always reminds me. He's my guy for my short-term memory loss over there.
It's all good. We talked to a lot of people, and I know this year we kind of started off a little slow. I've been busy with work. Look at my fingers, bro. I got climber's fingers. Look at that. I got busted up pinky and.
but what I'm saying is,
I've been busy.
I don't give a fuck about sponsorships, man. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit, man. It's media now. It's either gonna sink or swim, and you got to be a hustler. You got to go out there and be a pioneer in this new shit. You got
the winter, bro. Springtime is a new year.
But look, I mean, so peep game. So we're showing these fights, right? But those fights ain't free. Me and Skywalker are paying for a subscription that's allowing people to see pay-per-view events.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, you're doing that. But this whole internet, I can go to 5 or 6 different sites that I know to watch any pay-per-view out there or any fight. I mean, I had to go to those sites to watch ESPN because I don't have TV. I had to go to the same sites I watch Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao on to watch Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz on. And it's the way it is now. And if you can figure out a way how to make money with that, then then fine. But as far as paying for fights, there's some good guys like you and Skywalker that'll do that. And why I don't know. But hey, that's your thing. But there's the majority of people. They're streaming these fights, man. It's a fact of life. And the sites haven't closed down. Nobody's threatening to close them down. There's no I don't know, man. It's just easy to do. So what's the majority of people going to do? I don't feel like I'm stealing from anybody, first of all, because I've been watching boxing like this all my life. And if I didn't watch it, the only ones that would be hurting is the people that I give my opinions to on YouTube that dig how I can break down fights. And I don't have the know to watch pay-per-views, but if I don't watch them, who's it going to hurt, man? And that's the way the whole world is. We're in the internet age. You can watch anything you want. Anybody who buys a porno, anybody who pays for porn is out of their mind. I mean, anybody who pays for music, I think, is a little soft. There's just so much stuff, and it's free.
But look, all those things are coming to an end, Bruce.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, in Virginia, you can't look up no porn in Virginia. All porn is blocked on the internet in Virginia.
Really?
You have to.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to.
Republican governor, and they was, by the grace of God, I can't have them guys looking at black guys cucking our women. No more porn. Like, you can't do those things here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bruce,
Anybody in Virginia, man, I'm gonna go look at my phone after this. I'm gonna find somebody from Virginia. I'm gonna see if they can get Pornhub.
I'm telling no, bro.
They did pass something. They for sure passed something. I think what it is, you have to create an account and be logged in and verify you're 18 years old.
You gotta do that around here too, don't you?
Nah, but listen, I'm in the Commonwealth.
Even on YouTube, you got to prove your own. Going to watch this.
Put in Pornhub and it won't pop up.
You can't, bro. No.
No, they passed something. I know they passed something. I remember hearing about it.
Guy.
That's the most popular one, right? So hey.
Yeah, listen, man. The people who are at the top making the money, who control cable, are finding ways to kill this shit. And eventually they're gonna have some AI generator, and it's going to tell them how to not kill all this shit.
I do think that they're looking for ways to get money or generate money. You're thinking about the Viacoms and all of that. That's why we're seeing more of the streaming pop up. You know, I pay for like ESPN Plus, the Zone, the fights there. I know in some capacity it goes to the fighters to a degree, but the networks, they get their piece of it. Then the sponsors are providing funding and all of that stuff. But certainly at the end of the day, I know that they're looking for a financial gain. So I think we're going to see more of these. Well, we've already seen some of the big companies push towards streaming. Paramount Plus, freaking Apple TV Plus. You got so many pluses out there that you can't even name them all. But streaming is essentially replacing cable. You know, you're talking ditching cable. I ditched cable back in like 2011. So I've never had it since then. And I had already just moved to streaming everything. And now the difference is, of course, there are more streaming platforms out there than it was then, and they're starting to split themselves from each other. So therefore you're paying $7.99 here, $10.99 there, and then they're looking for ways to certainly recoup that funding in some sense.
We got a little argument here. Jay Gibson said you can get it on there. It's blocked. I'll say one thing, man. I'm not going to go back and forth with you guys, but the internet is undefeated. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
Hey, you guys haven't ever seen it where if you have Verizon and you're on the TV and you try to go and you try to go onto your laptop and maybe go stream something, a pop-up comes up from Verizon saying something about that what you're doing is illegal, and this is your first warning. I've had a couple buddies here in Hampton get their accounts restricted from Verizon. They had to go get another internet provider.
They know better than to fuck with me, bro. I'm the king of streaming anything over here. I pay for basic cable and that's it, and I get anything out there that I've been stream watching The Sopranos. I never saw that when it was on in its run. So I watched. I've been binge watching like the whole 6 seasons. I'm up to the episode 1 in season 6, bro. And this is the way of the world. It's a whole different world. You don't have to pay for anything as far as entertainment on your tube in front of you, because it's all internet. A fast connection, and you can bypass those little skimpy roadblocks that they put up. You get a VPN. They don't know where you're coming from, man. They think I'm broadcasting out of Tokyo, Japan over here, man. I mean, it's and the VPN is free on top of it. I don't pay for a VPN. I get a free version of it. Anybody wants one? I'll put it in the chat right now, man. Get yourself a free VPN on Bruce Gas.
Hey Bruce, I got a detractor over there. Let me share my screen real quick.
All right, let's see. How do you share your screen? I think you can do it, man. I think you can do it. All I got to do is let you in.
Okay.
Don't put no porn up there, though.
I'm not. Can you read that?
Can I read it? Wait, hang on a second. Let's see here. You have to make it a little bit bigger on your end.
Gibson.
I don't think I can.
What does it say? Go ahead, read it.
Dear user, as you may know, your elected officials in Virginia are requiring us to verify your age before allowing you access to our website. While safety and compliance are at the forefront of our mission, giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult platform is not the most effective solution for protecting our users, and in fact will put children and your privacy at risk. In addition, mandating age verifications without proper enforcement gives platforms the opportunity to choose whether or not to comply. As we've seen in other states, this just drives traffic to sites with far fewer safety measures in place. Very few sites are able to compare to the robust trust and safety measures we currently have in place. To protect children and user privacy, any legislation must be enforced against all platforms offering adult content. It goes on, but basically this is what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Does that pop up when you type in Pornhub?
If you type anything,
Bro, that's because you just said you have like AT&T as your service provider.
no, I have Verizon, but I'm
Verizon. Okay, same kind of same thing. But Jay Gibson's got cable. He uses Cox, and he doesn't get that problem. So I don't know what to tell you, man. So you, it's not that you can't get into that site. What do you have to do? What circles of fire do you have to jump through to do it?
I ain't jumping through nobody's circles. Ain't no FBI guy about to come kick down my door talking about I was looking at tweenies and I got somebody's granddaughter in my computer. I don't fuck around, bro.
But no. Well, not you, but let's say your next door neighbor. What would he have to do to go on?
Oh, as a part of the legislation, I think you have to upload your driver's license to verify who you are and that you are the age that you are.
Hey, what you trying to? Hey, Jay, you got
like that in Montana too.
Driving down the street and you're renting a movie, right?
Jay got some explaining to do. He said, man, I'm gonna give my driver's license and everything up to look at them BBWs.
But I think it's like that in Montana. But I heard about it as well through that Governor Youngkin, because he has a lot of policies that he put in place in Virginia. You know, I'm not far from there. My girlfriend, her mom's lives in Virginia. So, yeah, he put some different things in place. But I think it's like this in Montana and maybe some other states as well. So I knew what you were talking about there.
Hey, it's Jay, man. Jay said he said, they need my social security card. You feel me? Like I got three forms of identification because I gotta go look at their nasty.
Man, I can't get rid of it. I go to some of the sites that I go on, and they have phishing things that send you there. I got when I go on the boxing stream sites, I'll click the thing on, but then I'll to try to get the screen bigger. It'll have a phishing sheet on there, and it'll send me to a porn site. I'll have to get out of there and go back to the boxing. And they only put like a maximum of two of those phishing screens on there. So sometimes you got to get out of them twice. But yeah, man, porn's the biggest on the internet, bro. Porn is like fucking multi-billion dollar industry on the internet. I don't know how, because who the hell pays for it?
Well, see, that's the thing, though, Bruce. Who paid the legislators to say it was okay for it to be available everywhere?
Yeah.
Somebody had to give them people some bread to open that up, because it was never like that before. You had to go out the country, out to one of them weird places, and go in there and see somebody with some one of them. What's the dude name that the guy that's got the red suit on? He's in Marvels and the two swords.
Deadpool. Yeah,
you gotta go in one of them places, see one of them Deadpool looking motherfuckers, and hope somebody don't snatch you up in the back.
Jay Gibson, my brother, really, man. Hey, I think my man Duke is Duke down in Virginia. I'll give him a buzz after the show's over. I don't know if he's Virginia or South Carolina. He's in one of those states down there around clustered up. But I don't know, man. That sounds really, really imposed. That sounds like the government is imposing their will on you.
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
sound-
man.
I don't think-
China does the same thing.
I don't think that'll last long, man. You know, that must be some fucking.
Oh, it's lasted, bro. That shit
be
went into
some
effect like
mega
last year
hits.
in January.
Well, I don't know, man.
While this Youngkin guy is in there, maybe.
You know, there's about 1 million porn sites out there, man. There's not just Pornhub. There's a fucking zillion of them, and I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bro. But,
I mean, I'm not looking for it. I don't need it personally. You know, I'm married.
Yeah.
Wow. I've been married for 30 years, and I'm their best customer. No, I take that back, man.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, I'm gonna look into that, man. That's interesting. I'll have to get my buddy Reggie Owens to look in on that for me too, man. He's an advocate on your basic freedoms.
Yeah, it's only in certain states with certain
That's
I guess,
bullshit.
people who want to go the extreme route, you know.
Totally ridiculous.
It's
I mean,
coming,
dude.
bro. I mean, China uses the facial recognition software,
Oh yeah.
and if a person, like let's say the light, you know how you got to push the button to cross the street, and
Yeah.
it's supposed to give you the hand or the green light to be able to walk across, or the little white light to walk across. If you cross that street and that light's red and you don't got the white walk, they do something to your social account that takes money from that stops you from being able to live, basically. I mean, it's like your life is on the credit card over there. And when you do something that violates whoever set up whatever rules, you get punished for it.
Where's this?
China.
In China. In China. I
Yeah,
don't
they're big on the surveillance. They've sort of implemented a number of things here over the last several
I
years.
wish they had that surveillance down the street from me, man. Some jerks dumped a bunch of carpet down on the beach, man. Slobs.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
that.
I put it on Facebook. Yeah, man. You know, it's like
Those are
I've
cool.
I've been telling the guys that work for the fucking town, I said, you guys got to put a camera down here. You got them all over town, everywhere else, but down here, first of all, they make it difficult to dump shit like that. You have to bring it to the landfill certain days of the week, certain times.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think it's extra for back in the day, you could just put that shit in front of your house. Once a week they came and they took it away. But now you gotta fucking like everything else, man. And you gotta give me a fucking birth certificate practically. So I took a picture of it. I put it on Facebook. It was gone the next day.
Oh, yeah, man. You
I
can
put
pay
the same-
for copper.
I put the little caption under it. The people who did this are slobs and should be prosecuted, but the town doesn't make it easy to get rid of stuff like this.
They probably stole it from somewhere and somebody was looking for it. And so
No. It was somebody installing carpet in their house or in their business, and this is the stuff they pulled up. They had to get rid of it. They had no place to dump it.
So your state doesn't pay people for copper?
Carpet.
Oh, I thought you said copper.
No, carpet. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, y'all knew.
Yeah, they were just dumping.
It was earth pirates. It was fucking pigs. Fucking the goddamn worst people in society. I think people who litter are committing a sin against God and nature, and they will be dealt accordingly in the afterlife, man. That's how I feel about litter bugs. But like I said, man, the town doesn't make it easier. There's no excuse to do that, but the town should take a lesson by that and say, hey, listen, man, once every 2 weeks, you can call us up and we'll come down and pick up the shit. If you got a bench, you want a picnic table, a fucking TV. Try getting rid of a fucking old TV today. Forget it, man.
Hey, Bruce, there's some dirty people out there, man. So not too long ago, when I was working for Philips up in the DC region, I lived in probably one of the top most affluent black areas in America, where there's like $1 million homes and shit like that. Dirty people would go and take their trash and drive to that neighborhood and try to dump it off on the side of the road, bro. There's some nasty motherfuckers out there, man. You got hoarders, and then you got people who take their trash to other people's places to make it look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
So-
man. What
so-
type of person takes their trash and drives it all the way across somewhere to where somebody else lives at and dumps it?
Retards.
Some craziness. Yeah.
Hey, how about ready to jump off, guys? You guys want to close it up or what? We've been on it for
Yeah.
two-
I'm good. Hey, salute to Graham Fishburne coming in. Thank you, Jay Gibson, for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone who dropped by. 86 Boxing and the panel.
Yeah, hey, my man Jay, man, don't be giving up your credentials, bro. It ain't worth it.
Cool.
Cool, guys. Yeah, it was good boxing talk tonight, man. We'll get together Sunday. Work on a guest.
All right, who did this video? Is it Bruce or is it you, Skywalker?
Bruce did. I had a problem with my StreamYard today. I don't know. I think I need to pay for it again. That's probably why.
Bruce, can you chop it up so that we can produce a version of where we all were talking about boxing and stuff like that?
Can I tell you an easy way to do it? How I do it?
I don't know how, man, because I did an interview with Leon Muhammad the other day, and then I called a fight after that. And I want to get the interview I did with him and make a single video out of it. You have to show me, Skywalker.
Screen record the YouTube video. Go back on the live and screen record the clips that you like. You know what I'm saying? He uses it like an AI software type of deal where it cuts clips, but I like to do it personally because sometimes like his software will have me looking away or some shit. I remember on one video I told you, Josh, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, his catches good clips, but it'll throw out some where I'm like looking away or has someone looking somewhere opposite or
Drop that one in there. Check it out.
yeah, Opus Pro. That's the one. It catches clips, but you gotta filter through them, man. Pretty much.
Yeah. Some you have to go back and edit and all that stuff for sure.
That's
I gotta figure out how to do that, bro. Because like I said, man, I got this real cool interview with Leon Muhammad.
Yeah,
All right,
check that out. I dropped in the chat there, Bruce, and it's like a straightforward means of going about it. But yeah, some of them you do have to correct a bit.
Yeah. Well, see, it's a 5-hour stream, and I want to cut the first hour out of it. Salute my brother Mark Nash, man. Thank you much for coming by, but we're out of here, man.
Okay.
Anybody want to say anything before I pull the plug?
Cool. Peace. Thank you.
Peace.
Correct.